Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where currently what we need to do, I think, is we need to clean up our mess. Now, this here doesn't exist. We can't do anything with that. But I want to use the recycler here, at least for some of this, and see how this ends up going. Because we do want to definitely use the recycler in theory, but in practice, it's probably going to be a lot quicker to just untrack most of this debris. Let's see. For now, we're going to have Bill EVA, and he's going to hop on out here. He's got an electric screwdriver, so that should be absolutely fine, right? You've got an electric screwdriver? Yes. As expected. Okay, so now what we can do is we can hit our head, apparently, and then fall off. Perfect. Exactly what we wanted you to do, Bill. Yeah, this is going perfect. Okay. Get down to the ground, please. There we go. Much less awkward. So now what we're going to need to start doing is we're going to need to start grabbing bits like this, and we're going to have to just move them on over towards the recycler. Now, I did see that we had to activate the recycler through the right-click menu. Well, we can actually just kind of push this along. That's useful. But what we need to do is we need to get it off over here. So can we do that from here, or do we have to be in the base in order to activate this? We can set as target. Okay. So we have to be in the base. And this is the cubic octagonal struts. Is this the base? This is the base. Perfect. So we'll activate the recycler. Ah, okay, so now it's idle, and it's activated. So we've got Bill here, and what we need to do now is, I think, well, we're going to have to head over here a little bit. Frame rate's a little better than it was, I feel like. So that's good. But it's about to get a lot better. So we're going to grab this. There we go. And I'm just going to put it out over here. And I don't know how much rocket part storage we have right now. I don't know that we have any, actually. Maybe we have a little bit. We might actually want to wait until we get our storage module here. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to put this here. Did that work? No, it did not. So how does this work? I'm not trying to detach it. I want to grab it. Interesting. We have to detach it? We can't grab it anymore? Maybe it did something. That's intriguing. This is in grab mode. Tool needed. We can detach it. And then grab it. And then, if we were to try to attach this, it can't be attached without a tool. Oh, we probably don't have it equipped. Let's go into our inventory here. Equip. There we go. So now that we have that, if we take this and we put it up here, and we surface attach it, does that work? No, that did not destroy it. I don't know how this recycling bin works, I'll be honest. But to be also honest here, we don't need it. I'm just going to place this here. And I'm going to detach the micronode. I'm going to place the micronode here as well. Where are you going? I don't know where this is going, but that's not how physics works. Let's put it back. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to hop in here into the actual module. Here's the base. Okay. So I want to see what happens if we... Yeah, state is currently idle. Let's deactivate it, and let's reactivate it. Okay. It ate the micronode. Let's deactivate and reactivate. It detached itself. I think what it did was it ate the docking port. That's a little awkward. I mean, that's not the end of the world, to be clear. We're going to have Bill just lift it right on back up. So no, I don't want to do that. I want to grab this. I want to attach it right here. Attach function is not supported on this part. Maybe it has to be on the ground? Okay, that seems to have destroyed it. Interesting. Well, it's going to be much faster to do this in another way. So I'm going to make a quick save here, just in case. And we're going to head back to the tracking station. I think we're just going to untrack those parts. It's fine. We'll be able to make the rocket parts that we need anyway. So that's not a significant issue. It'll just be way, 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 way faster for us to do it this way. So at this point, I'm going to be coming down to our Duna base. So this is a core module probe. We don't need this. This is an untitled spacecraft. I believe that is what Jeb and Bill arrived in. Let's get rid of that. We don't need it. We don't need this Duna core module 1, because all of our modules are connected to the base. They're all part of this. So we shouldn't need anything else that is currently on Duna. So we're just going to clear all of this out, and this is going to take a little bit of time. I don't think I'm going to make you sit through this, so I'm going to pause the recording, and I will be back as soon as I've finished this monumental task. Okay, so I've just finished up cleaning up Duna. At this point, we've got the Duna base on Duna, we've got Bill Kerman on Duna, and that's it. So let's go ahead and fly Bill Kerman here, and we need to get him back into the base. But my question is, how much better will our performance be at this point? Now, we're still probably going to have Krakening, don't get me wrong, but the Krakening may be slightly better. Maybe. We'll see. So let's get this loaded in and see what this looks like at this point. Now, I did delete the recycling bin as well, because I don't think it's actually useful. It's so much faster to just untrack all of those parts. Oh, this is much better performance. And much less Krakening, I feel like, as well. So that's great. It looks like there's still this out over here. Now, these parts, I feel like should have been removed. I must have missed them at some point. They must be in the list, and there's some stuff out over here still, too. Okay, so we can go back and find those, but I did want to come back here because I wanted to talk about, well, we need to get Bill back into the base, but I also wanted to talk about the status of this sky crane. We can remove this sky crane with Kerbal construction if we need to, or more specifically, just eject it and let it fall would be the dream. But for that to happen, we need to furl these solar panels. So I think we should do that. Let's grab the Duna base right now, and we can furl these solar panels right now. Because they do not need to be here. And eventually we'll need to get the other panels repaired. But for now, this'll do. Let's just make sure this is nice and clear. Retract. There we go. And then we're going to need to undock this. I think I'm going to have this fly off like a standard sky crane, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay, you ready? Here we go. We're good. I hope it doesn't come back and bomb us. That would be awkward. Now we've got unbreakable joints and no crash damage on. So there is that. I'm just kind of waiting for it to come back at this point. Let's swap to it real quick. We do have a little bit of horizontal motion. So that is a very, very good thing. Let's orient ourselves over to horizontal velocity up if we can. So we're just trying to turn ourselves over and get some horizontal speed that way, but this is going to be fine. We're going to bring this right back down, and yeah, if we look at our trajectory here, we can see we're definitely not going to hit the base, so that's fantastic. Now, unbreakable joints and no crash damage is on, and I'm going to keep it that way because we might not land outside of the load zone of the base. We're just going to untrack this anyway, so it doesn't really matter whether it blows up on impact or not. It would be funner to have it blow up on impact, no doubt about that, but we don't actually care. The real question is, just how far is this actually going to land away from the base? If it's far enough... No, this is not going to be far enough. This is only going to be a couple hundred meters. If it was going to be far enough to not load in the base, I would have turned off unbreakable joints and no crash damage, just because that's fun. But, alas, there's the base loading. Okay, so that's fine, and we're just coming on down. We're not going to impact the base, so there's no damage that should exist that won't because of unbreakable joints and no crash damage. We'll just untrack this. It's fine. So at this point, we just need to have this come down, and there's a couple more things that we want to untrack here. So downward we come. And, of course, this is going to be very awkward because of unbreakable joints and no crash damage, but it's got to be on right now. Splat. The whole thing should have exploded, or at least come to pieces right there. But as it is, it's going to do this. And we'll have another impact here shortly. That did build us up a lot of horizontal speed. Okay, it's going to come to rest very shortly here. And there's definitely some debris out over here, too. So we definitely still have some debris. I think I wasn't tracking debris, and I probably should have been. So let's just bring this to a halt. And then we'll head on back to the tracking station and get the last little bit cleaned up there. But before we do, I want to hop over to Bill. And we're going to just get him into the base. Much easier to fly with this frame rate, and it'll be way easier to move parts around as well. Okay, Bill, this is not exactly where I had you aimed at, but it'll do. There we go. So I'll just get him ensconced in the base. There we go. He'll have plenty of life support in here. At least until we run out of electric charge. That's potentially a problem. We need to unfurl these again to make sure that we are getting maximum electric charge when the sun actually comes up. But that's going to be a while. And yeah, we're building up our liquid fuel and oxidizer. That's understood. We'll extend the solar panel there. There we go. And everything looks good on that front. I don't think we can run the smelter at this point. Yeah, because we're full on metal. So our next steps are that we need to bring in the storage module, and we need to bring in our workshop and our housing modules. Both of those need to happen. We also need to bring in our landing pad. But once that's done, we're going to be pretty done with the colony, because at that point it's going to be self-sufficient and we can just build whatever we need here, and that's going to be kind of boring at that point. So we'll probably end the series at about that point. This has been going for a while anyway, and it's been quite the ordeal for sure. But performance is far, far better there, and the Kraken appears to be at least partially tamed with all that cleanup done. I feel like that was a very, very necessary thing, and there's still more cleanup that we can do here. So let's hop into the tracking station real quick as soon as we're loaded in. I should have just gone straight to the tracking station, but here we go. So I want to check to see if there is debris that is not tracked currently. Yeah, that's the issue. So we then just need to come down here. We need to get rid of any debris that exists at all. Anything that is classified as debris is not useful for us, so I'm going to show only debris for right now, and we're just going to start untracking a lot of this stuff. Okay, So there's only a few of these that need to be done. Let's just get them taken care of. And then we're going to have to run the storage module. And we're going to have to bring that right on in. My main concern right now with life support is that all of our life support modules might turn off when we run out of power. It was just a little bit awkward that we docked up in Twilight. But we'll see what that ends up feeling like. We might have enough power to get through the night. I don't know. It's going to be spicy. We'll have power tomorrow, of course. Oh, we can't actually select that. Because it's the first in the list. It's a little awkward, but we need to terminate this guy. Okay, that's much, much cleaner now. I'm going to get rid of this K&K fertilizer container on the moon. I don't think that's necessary anymore. Same with the Stampatron ground anchor. That moved around a lot. It would have been very nice to use, but... Okay, the work lamp can go away too, and I think everything else here can stay. So that is, of course, a whole lot better. Oh wait, we've got the Duna base probe here. That needs to go away. Okay, everything else here is good. We need to take the storage module. We need to fly this. That's our next mission. So, how long until our encounter? It should be quite a long time, I believe. We'll see here in a moment. Okay. We don't have a maneuver node set up. Noted. Yeah, that encounter is going to be in a while. 405 days. That is quite a long time indeed. So, we're interested in our life support on the other location. For now, let's just warp forward a little bit. I want to warp forward to about here or so. It's not a very far warp. That's understood. Now, we can look at our encounter here, which I'm definitely interested in doing. This encounter is very awkward, no doubt about it. We can do a maneuver right here and just barely dip ourselves into orbit, kind of like this. And then I feel like we want to circularize up top. We've got a lot of delta V here. Let's align to this node. Yeah, we do have a lot of DV still. So I feel like we want to circularize up top, then change our inclination, then dive in, circularize on bottom, and we can check to see if we need to change our orbital orientation as well. We might have to. We'll see. For now, let's go ahead and warp forward, and we'll see how our life support ends up doing. We can go in here to see how that's going. We can see we've got 7 days of electricity remaining. That shouldn't be a problem. And that seems absolutely fine. So let's warp on forward. This is going to be a pretty long warp. No doubt about that. We're going to have to check in on the actual oxygen numbers eventually, but for now, this should be okay. Okay, let's hop out of here for now because I'm not going to make you sit through this warp. See you guys in just a moment. Okay, so here we are nearly through the warp. I think we're just entering the sphere of influence right now. I don't know what that freeze was. No, that shouldn't have been the sphere of influence. That's... Where are we? We're here. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so we can see that this burn will be in about 1 minute, and we're just going to... I think we're over-burning this, actually. Let's dial this back a little bit to be minimal. Right about there. Okay, so we've got about 30 seconds until this burn. 20 seconds. 10, and 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. Okay, just trying to hit it fairly precisely. I think we overburned it slightly. That's okay. So now what we need to do is we need to come up to the apoapsis, and we need to circularize this. This feels really weird. But we're technically better off doing this than we are circularizing at the periapsis and doing our inclination change there. I know that's a very, very strange thing to to assert, but it's true. It feels really wrong, but this is how it works. So this is only going to take 50 meters per second to raise our periapsis from here to here. It'd be a lot more to drop our apoapsis, and then we'd have to do like 300 dV or something like that in order to get our inclination changed. So overall, this is going to be a significantly better way to do it. Why are we going the wrong way? Now we're going approximately the right way. Okay, so you can see here we've got plenty of time on our life support here, and these numbers are not necessarily real. We should have plenty of oxygen. We have infinite oxygen, but the game doesn't appear to know that when we're not at the base, so that's fine. We're just going to warp on forward. 32 days. Oh, we're still in physics warp. Can you stop that? I want to be in time warp. Thank you. The next question is, are we going the wrong direction? And we'll find that out in a moment, too. I want to do the inclination change first. Look at this. This hemispherical liquid fuel tank moved on us at some point. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of odd. So we've got 23 days left in this warp, and this warp is not going the fastest in the world, but that's fine, I suppose. I wish we'd warp it a little faster. 10,000 is kind of slow for this. 100,000 would be maybe a little too fast, though. I don't know. So that oxygen is still ticking on down in our Duna base, but it shouldn't actually be a long-term issue. We should be generating plenty of oxygen over there. In multiple ways. We've got our carbon scrubbers, we've got our greenhouses. We should have plenty of oxygen coming in. So we've got about 3 days until this burn. 50.7 meters per second is, of course, not very significant. And this burn is... Actually, I feel like we could push it out slightly further than this. Maybe not. This is fine. It's good enough. So we've got about 40 seconds. 30, 20, 10, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. Okay, so let's just push this right on out. And then the question is, to match planes with Ike, what is this going to end up looking like? And we want to go to 0. We don't want to go to 180. Okay, I'm going to call that good enough. So now we need to set Ike as our target, and we are going this direction. So at the descending node, that's in 38 days. This is in 116 days. Yeah, it's a pretty long orbit right now. At the descending node, we need to add a maneuver, and we want to set our inclination to, instead of being 89.7, we want to change that to be... Okay, this is prograde and retrograde, right. We want to change that to be something more like... we need to do retrograde here. I want the ascending node. Thank you very much. These are going to flip on us. So retrograde is going to become the direction that we want to burn, as you can see here. So this is going to be 0.3, and I think we need a little bit of alteration here, perhaps, but that becomes retrograde. 0.2, 0.1, and now I think it's a timing issue more than anything else. That's 0.0. We'll call that good, and then after that burn is done, we'll do another burn around here to drop our periapsis down and dive in. So let's go ahead and align to the node. 95.6 meters per second. Look at how efficient that is when we're this high up. We could get it more efficient by being a little bit higher, but we're very, very close to the maximum. So we're, by doing this, saving, I would estimate, probably somewhere around 150 meters per second. It's very counterintuitive, but here we are. So we need to warp forward about 38 days and fall on down towards this descending node. Perfect. And this burn is going to be kind of awkward, but it's absolutely fine for now. So we've got about 50 seconds on the burn. 40, 30, 20, 10, and 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. Okay. Let's bring this right on in. I still want Ike set as our target. I want to be able to see what our actual ascending and descending node is after we finish this burn. And as you can see, it's going to start pushing the periapsis back out here at a certain point. And that's because we're shifting around our orbit so much. It's a very, very significant orbital shift. Okay, so we're pretty close to flattened out. I'm just chasing the node a little bit here. 0.2 meters per second, and I do want to get this pretty precise. Okay, that's 0.0. Let's see how we did. 0.0. I like it. So now what we need to do is about here, we're going to, and we could actually do this a little sooner. About here, we're going to pull this back, and we want this periapsis to be ideally about 60 kilometers. But let's see if Ike is going to interfere with us or not. Looks like a no. So that's good. We'll bring this down to about 60 kilometers, as I said, maybe even closer to like 55. And that's still an ascending node of 0.0. Looks good. Only 45 meters per second to do this. So let's get aligned up to that node. And we'll bring this on in. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're just going to circularize down here and bring this in for a landing. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.